Okay. Hello again. Hope you all doing well. So it looks like most of you have joined, so it's better to start the class. So as you can see my screen, that's the first page of the Duolingo guidebook. Okay, guys. Duolingo English test. This is the official guide for the test takers, and this official guide is written by themselves. So that's why I thought that a very reliable book that we can choose for this course can be from themselves. Okay, this Duolingo book have been written by the Duolingo website and the Duolingo teachers. They wrote this book. That's why I find this book very beneficial and effective for this course. So, on the last session, we have spoken about the Duolingo test itself. We have explored some differences of Duolingo with TOEFL and IELTS. Also, we have explored some of the experiences that the rest of the class have on the Duolingo test. And they have shared their experiences. They told about themselves, and that was all. And for this session, we particularly go through the strategies. We go through the things that we have inside the book. So particularly in this session, we are digging into the book. As you can see on the screen, I'm playing the table of contents. Let's explore about the table of contents and just have a look to all the goals that we have through the entire book and things that we are going to learn. But for everything, we are going to have an introduction to the Duolingo test. Then we will explore, get ready for the test, some strategies, and then we have the test structure, and then understanding the test questions. It means one by one, we will explore all the question types that you will face with them on the real test. And then prepare your environment. I mean, as you know, Duolingo does not require any test center. You can take it by your own laptop from your own room. That's why we have a topic here in this book by the name of Prepare Your Environment. It means how to prepare a quiet, clean, and a good place for having the test, okay? And then about the test security, and as I told you on the last session, Duolingo is even much more secure than the TOEFL and other tests because the one who monitors you is not just the person, the artificial intelligence or AI also monitors you. That's why it's really difficult because even if you just turn around or turn your head around and look around, they will consider it as cheating and they will even block your test. We will talk about these kind of things on the test security, and then we have understand your scores. On the understand your scores part, we will dig into different scores they give from different parts. For example, from the production, from the reading parts, from the listenings, and from all other parts that you have on the test. How do they really give you scores? It means we will dig into the rubrics and the ways they score you, and then share your results. In the topic of share your results, we will dig into the ways of sharing the result or just sending the result of your test to different universities and institutions around the world. And then we have the conclusion of the book with appendix and practice questions. So guys, particularly this session, we will dig into the introduction. In introduction, we will explore even very tiny things about the Duolingo test. In the introduction, the first thing we will talk about it is about the test. It means things that you should know about the test before preparing for the test. And then we will talk about how it works. It means how the Duolingo test really works. We will dig into this topic. And finally, we will talk about who accepts the test. It means because there are a lot of institutions, a lot of universities in all around the world that they accept the Duolingo test, and we will explore them here. And then we have get ready for your test and other topics here. So particularly, I am on page 4 of the book, and on page 4 we have the introduction. So before the introduction, we have an overview of this topic. And the overview, it says that welcome to the Duolingo English Test official guide for test takers. In this section, you will learn what the Duolingo test, English test is, and some advantages of taking the test and how institutions use the test. So this is the overall overview of this topic, how introduction works, and which things you are going to learn in the introduction part. The first topic about on the introduction part of this book about the Duolingo, it's particularly about the test itself. As you know, the Duolingo English test is an English test designed for your convenience. That's because it's very convenient, it's fast, it's affordable, and it's very trusted in all over the world. And the test is brought to you by Duolingo, the most popular way to learn a language online. Duolingo's mission is to develop the best education in the world and make it universally available. I want to tell you that, dear honorable students, Duolingo is not just the name of a test. It's the name of it's a worldwide brand which teaches different kind of languages. They teach English, Turkish, and other languages also, and most of their tasks are delivered online. It means there is the application, you can download it. On the application you can learn any language you want. So particularly, Duolingo is not the name of the test. The name of this test that we are preparing for is Duolingo English test, because Duolingo has a lot of tests in other languages also. So particularly, you should understand that Duolingo is a convenient, fast, affordable, and trusted test of English. And then the Duolingo test is convenient, as I told you, fast, affordable, and trusted. So what do they mean by saying convenience? As you know, you can have the Duolingo test just by a computer and take the test online from your computer at any time, anywhere in the world. It means the time and the place they will be selected by you. It means it's not like other tests that they, for example, give you a specific address, a specific time to be present for the test. So those things do not apply for Duolingo. In Duolingo, the time and the place, it's up to you. Anytime, any place, you have the time so you can have the test. And then it's fast. Why do they say it's fast? Because the test is going to be around 1 hour, and you will receive your results in 2 days. This does not apply to other tests. For example, in TOEFL, you will get your results in around 1 week, even more than 1 week. And you have to pass around right now in the new version of TOEFL, you need to pass the test in around 2 hours. And the next one, it's affordable. It says at a fraction of the price other tests, you can share your results with an unlimited number of institutions for no additional cost. Guys, as you know, the Duolingo test is really much cheaper than other tests. So that's why we can say that Duolingo English test is really affordable. And as you know, right now in Afghanistan, there are not a lot of test centers of TOEFL or IELTS. So Duolingo can be the best option because you have the internet, you have the computer, so it's cheaper than other tests. So it can be the best option as your language test when you want to apply for universities. And the last thing that you should keep in mind about Duolingo is that it's trusted. It means it is accepted by thousands of top institutions around the world. I have explored their website. They universities like Stanford, like Yale, like Duke, like Gettysburg, like Bowdoin, all of these universities, some of the Ivy Leagues, they accept the Duolingo test. So that's why we can say that Duolingo is really a trusted test. So that was all about the test and how the test is. Particularly, let's dig to another question that says how the test really works, or how it works. The Duolingo English test uses the latest technology to make the test accessible, accurate, and secure. These three things. The test was developed by language testing experts using artificial intelligence to offer a modern testing experience built on research. As I told you before, that artificial intelligence has a very significant role in the Duolingo test. They assess your test, even they even they change your questions. For example, if you start a test and if your performance is good, the AI or artificial intelligence, they themselves change the questions. It means if you do, for example, 2, 3, 4 questions very, for example, easily, maybe they will bring some hard and difficult questions for you. It means they test, all the test is not the same, and it's not, for example, prepared already before the test. No, it means it's the test can be changeable according to your performance. Guys, the first thing about Duolingo here is that it's accessible. In addition to being available online on demand, the test is a computer adaptive test. This means that the difficulty of the test questions change based on each test taker's performance. As I told you, you can receive an accurate score in under 1 hour of test taking. Guys, let me tell you one more thing. However, they say that TOEFL or IELTS, they're the tests of English. Yeah, that's okay. They're the international tests of English. But beside English, they test a lot of other things in students. Their IQ, how much smart they are, and other factors, other skills in a student. But they do these things does not apply in Duolingo. In Duolingo, they just test your ability to use English academically. Okay, the questions are designed in a way that they just measure your ability to use English academically. So the next thing is that the test is accurate. It means scores are calculated by the grading engine, which is trained to understand language ability the same way the expert human raters do. However, machines rate you and machines give you some scores in the Duolingo test. On the same time, there are human raters. They just evaluate your speaking, your writings. So it means it's not all the technology. It's not just all about technology and artificial intelligence. There are also humans that check your writings, check your speaking. So that's it. And lastly, the test is really secure. With the help of AI or artificial intelligence, multiple human proctors detect instances of rule breaking. So that's it. There is the AI or artificial intelligence, and also there are real human proctors. It means they just monitor that are you really taking the test, or you're cheating, you're turning around, or is there someone else in the room, or all these things are going to be evaluated, or they are going to be means checked by artificial intelligence and human proctors. So finally, results are available in 2 days and include your overall scores, sub-scores, and writing and speaking sample, and you can share with an unlimited number of institutions with no additional cost. What do they mean by saying no additional cost? Guys, when they say no additional cost, they mean that when you pay the money for the test, with that money, with that amount of money, you can send or you can share your scores, I think to around more than 40 universities in all over the world. Okay, you can share, and more than that maybe it will cost, but that's very less. But in TOEFL, that's the vice versa. You pay around $230 in Afghanistan, and with that money you can share your scores just to 4 universities or institutions. And the next thing is that you are supposed to share your scores before taking the test. It means before taking the TOEFL test, you should select that after I have finished the test, you can share my score, for example, to this university. That's it. But in Duolingo, it's not like that. After taking the test, after receiving your score, then you can share your score with your desired institutions and universities. And then, guys, the last thing that we have on the introduction part about the Duolingo English test, that is the acceptance. Who accepts the test? As I told you, the Duolingo English test is used as proof of English proficiency by institutions and employers around the world. When they say employers, they mean that even in institutions, even, for example, if you apply for a job in English-speaking countries, maybe they require you to submit your or to share your Duolingo test scores because they want to understand that is your English good for the job or not. And also, it is recognized by thousands of universities in over 50 countries, and it is commonly accepted for admissions, placement, progress, or exit requirements. So to see where the test is accepted, there is a link, englishtest.duolingo.com or institutions, and you can just check it out. And always check a university's website to understand your English proficiency requirements. Guys, when you want to apply for universities, particularly if you want to apply for American colleges, sign into your Common App accounts and click to a university. There is the website, and on the website, just write or search about their English proficiency requirements. There they will tell you that do they accept Duolingo or not. If they accept, for example, Duolingo, how many scores is their desire? For example, is it more than 120? Is it more than 130? How much is it? It means all these information are on the websites of universities, and you can find them there. So that was all about the Duolingo test that we have. That was the introduction. So as I told you, the next part is that get ready for the test. So we particularly dig into the getting ready for the test, and we talk about the test readings. But before that, in this part, if there is any question, just please raise your hand. I'll give you time to ask you questions about the test itself. So all the things I told, that was all just about the test itself. We had just an introduction about the Duolingo English test. So still we didn't dig into, for example, the strategies, into the question types. So Bono Farishta, you please ask your question.
For sure. So my question is actually not. It is not a question. It would be more like a suggestion. Could you please share this book? And
We have this book. That's on the group. I think you have. You have. For example, you have an added to the group after the book. I'll share that. So don't worry about it. Guys, if possible, if possible, please ask your questions in this part, because this video is going to be uploaded on YouTube, and there the questions are really important. Okay, and if there is any suggestion or any other concern, you can message that. Okay, you can message to Mr. Mujtaba or Mr. Moheb, or you can even message to me, and we are going to share the things you require and the problems you have. They're going to be solved. So, Banu Zahra, you can have your question.
Okay, sir. Sir, my question is that how much money we have to pay for passing Duolingo test exactly?
Particularly, I have read on their website that it's $49, but in Afghanistan, I think it's about around $59. So it is, I think, around $49 up to $59. Exactly, I think it's $59. Okay, another question from Bono Hosseini, Bono Mahdia Hosseini. You can ask your question.
That last night that professor said that Duolingo is just for it is just for the time of Corona, or just the epidemic disease, or will it be accepted by other times?
Okay, I can't say anything particularly to your response, but I don't think so. Because nowadays the Duolingo test is really developing. It's really, for example, increasing. More and more students around the world are taking the Duolingo test, and I'm not sure about it. I don't think so that this thing will happen, because Duolingo is getting accredited every day. It means they're really improving, and I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, so another question. If you have any other questions, so you can tell me. So the next person, Bono Regina, you can ask your question.
Sir, how many questions are in Duolingo test?
Okay, I can't say a particular number of questions because the questions are not numbered particularly. We will dig into the question types. We'll tell you, for example, which question types you will have. For example, there are different types of questions. For example, there is a sentence, they ask you to read the sentence. There is, for example, there are a group of words and they ask you, for example, choose which word is real and which one is not. So particularly, there is not a specific number of questions. Okay, so the next person, Bono Shukriya, you please ask your question.
Do you have my voice, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to say that, can you tell us about more materials to study with ourselves beside this book? Of course, we are reading this book and we are studying and learning about Duolingo.
Okay,
Beside
of
this book,
course,
is
of
other
course.
materials to
Of
include?
course, in the process of the course, during the course, I'm going to share a lot of links, a lot of books and practices with you. So don't be worried about it. When I have classified your class or divided your class into subgroups, all the practices, all the other extra materials are going to be shared there. So don't be worried about it. Okay, so the next person, Banu Rahima, if you have any questions, so please tell me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Please ask your question.
Okay, I just have a question like that even the practice test or the exact test of Duolingo, it is required that we have a laptop. We should have laptop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not any other ways that we can take the exam by phone or other.
I think a phone and the phone and tablet also works, but computer is much better because typing is a little bit easier. So yeah, don't be okay. So uh, don't be worried about it. You can take it in any device. The internet connection is important, and the capacity of your device is also important. Okay, try to use a good device, and computer is the best option. And the next
Okay, thank
one, you're welcome. So, Banu Nilufar, you please ask your question.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. I have a question. What is the duration of credibility for this exam?
It's around 2 years. The same like
2 years.
yeah, the same like TOEFL.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, and the next person, Mr. Habib, you please ask your question.
Hello, dear sir. I just wanted to know that if I want to just take the test individually, how can I pay for the test? And how can I register for the test? If I don't use the test center in Kabul.
Okay, the Duolingo does not have any test center. The test centers that you see their ads on Facebook, they are fake test centers. They are, for example, they're made by different people, and they're not, for example, on behalf of the Duolingo company. It's just by normal people, and they made it, for example, possible for students to take the test. They have prepared a room, a computer, the desk, and everything is there. So you can have it from with yourself on the computer, and by the MasterCard, you can pay for that. Also, there are lots of offices in Kabul that can help you with this problem. Okay, and yeah, the last person, Mr. Azizi, Mr. Idris Azizi, you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me, voice?
Yeah, I'm hearing. Please ask your question.
My question is about I usually take 120 marks in the exam that they are available in internet. Can you tell me how much marks will I take in the real test?
So they give you
between the real test and the test that
Okay, very nice question. Thank you. So could you please tell me about the interval of your score? They say, for example, from 120 up to this number. Up to which number it is from you?
It's usually from 120 up to 130 or 35.
Okay, means the gap is around 50 scores. They say a way of a way of calculating this. They say, for example, you should calculate it in this way: 120 plus 125 and divided by 2. And the score is this, and the result that you get, it's the score that you will get on the test. But I think this does not apply all the time. It means you should sum both of the scores. For example, 120 plus 135 divide by 2. This is the exact score. This is the calculation that they offer most of the websites. But I think if right now you take the test, maybe you will get more than 120. It's going to be around 125, 130 maybe. But if you practice, for example, if you improve your academic English, so certainly your score will get near to 135. Or let me answer in another way. Around 90%, okay, around 90%, I can guess that you will get 120. And around 10%, I can guess that you will get 135. This is the way you can measure it. It means there is 90% possibility that you will get 120. 90%. But for 135, that's just 10%. But if you practice, it will increase exactly. So, yeah, Mr. Ainullah, you please ask the question, and that will be the end of the questions.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Mr. Ainullah, your voice is breaking.
What is the cost of Duolingo?
Unfortunately, your voice was breaking, but I could hear. I thought that you said that is I think you asked about the cost. As I told you, the cost somewhere I read that it's around $49, but somewhere I read that's around $59. So it's in this range of $59, $49 up to $59 in this range. Particularly, I think it is $59. So guys, thank you so much from your questions. So let's dig into the second part of the book that we have. And at the end, I'll also put time for your questions, so don't be worried about it. And for now, please mute your mics and just listen to the rest of the class. And I'll give time for your questions, so don't be worried about it. Okay, let's go. Guys, as you can see here on this page of the book, we have the introduction. So the introduction is done. We have get ready for the test part. So in get ready for the test, we have around 5 topics to talk about. The first one about test readiness, and the next one is about how to learn about the test. The next one, how to practice English, and the next one, how to test your best, and how to pace yourself. Guys, I want to tell you that Duolingo is just a test, and it's not something to, for example, particularly you could get it, for example, in a short period of time, like 1 week or 2 weeks. In fact, it is evaluating the general things you know in English. Means it's evaluating all your English. It's evaluating all your English. So please keep in mind that for having a good score in this test, you need to have a strong academics in English. So let's come here. The topic is about get ready for the test. So the overview says in this section, you will learn about test preparation and readiness for the Duolingo English test. You will read about ways to get to know the test, tips for practicing your English, and suggestions for planning your test-taking experience. So that's it. These are the things that we are going to dig into in this unit or in this part. Okay, so about the test readiness, it says Duolingo is a language learning company with a mission to lower barriers to education for everyone. For that reason, test prep for the Duolingo English test may be a little different than what you're used to. When people think about test preparation, they picture long hours of studying, expensive resources, and memorization. These practices create a lot of pressure to perform well, which can lead to testing anxiety and an overall negative experience. That kind of test preparation isn't necessary for the Duolingo English test. Instead of the test preparation, think more about the process of getting ready to take the test, or test readiness. Guys, the practice test of Duolingo is completely free on their website. You can go there and practice it, the first thing. Secondly, preparing for Duolingo is not like preparing for other tests. You don't need to memorize anything. You don't need, for example, to read anything. You don't need to be ready for something, okay? In fact, it's evaluating all the things you already have. if you particularly memorize that, okay, I'm going to memorize this list of words, for example, this 50 words, and this 50 words I'm going to use them on the test, so it will not work. Even if in your speakings and in your writings, if you write or if you speak the things that you have previously memorized, or if you write something that you have, for example, copied from somewhere else, or you have memorized it before, the artificial intelligence knows this, and they will even, for example, block your test. So nothing is needed before the test. Just a good general English, a good general and academic English. You should be at least in the advanced or upper advanced level of English to get more than 120 in the test. So you don't have any particular thing to get ready for. Just put your concentration on improving your general English, improving your academic English, and your overall English. Particularly, you don't have anything. For example, let me just compare this. For example, in the TOEFL test, in the reading part, for example, there are 10 question types. For example, the first question type is factual information questions. You need to understand what is a factual information question, how does it work, how to recognize, how to answer. You need to learn these things. You need to, for example, structure your reading skills into, for example, factual information questions. And you need to learn about the strategies of answering factual information questions. But we don't have such thing in Duolingo. Okay, there is just a reading, and they just ask you the questions. So you don't. There is, for example, no strategy beforehand for that. However, there are some suggestions that if you do this work, if you do that work, if you do it this way or that way, it can help. But there is nothing, for example, particular before the test to get ready for, or to memorize, or to do anything else. And then about minimizing stress. It says that this is a test that's designed for you. Take it anytime, anywhere, when you are ready. Hopefully the flexible schedule, low cost, and lack of traveling to a test center will help minimize the stress, so you can stay focused on doing your best on the test. So that's it. It means also they think about minimizing your stress, and this test in fact minimizes your stress. You don't need any address. You don't, on the test day, if you, for example, get out of the home and get a car, go to a test center, the process itself is stressful. But Duolingo does not have those kind of stresses. You can, for example, apply from your room. You can, for example, take the test from your room with your own tablet or with your own computer, and that's really very flexible, and that's the cost is lower than other tests, so you don't need any traveling. So these things can help you minimize your stress. And particularly all the tests, they have they have their stress, but these factors will in fact reduce the amount of stress that you're going to face on the test day. And then the topic that we're going to explore is learn English, not an English test. Yeah, this is the most important thing that I want to concentrate in this part, because it says learn English, not an English test. If you particularly think about passing the Duolingo test or passing the TOEFL test or IELTS test, so this kind of preparing for the test is not very effective. And if you want to, for example, have a good score, so please try to develop your English. Try to learn more English, not preparing just for a particular test. You do not need special preparation in order to do well on the Duolingo test, on the Duolingo English test. No need for memorization, rehearsal, or expensive classes. The Duolingo English test is designed to show your real proficiency level in English. Intense studying right before the test will not change your score, and your score will improve as your proficiency improves. Yeah, this is the most important factor. That, for example, if 2 days before the test or 1 week before the test, you just put a lot of pressure on yourself that, okay, I am going to get a very good score in the test, so that will not work. The only way that you can have a good score is improving your proficiency, your overall proficiency in English. When your proficiency in English, both in the reading section, on the speaking section, on the listening and writing section, increased, so your score will increase too. So you can't, for example, prepare for the test just in 1 week, or for example, in just one day even. That's impossible. And the next thing that we have here, that's free test readiness resources. Yeah, as I told you before, that in their website there are a lot of free resources that you can access and you can use them. No matter how convenient and affordable the test is, there will always be some stress associated with testing. That's why there are many trustworthy resources to help you become comfortable with the test in advance. Okay, we were talking about the free test readiness resources that are existed in different websites, and you can use them for free. There is no need to pay for them. And also you can go to the englishtest.duolingo.com on their website, and you can have a lot of practices there. So the next topic that we're going to explore about, that is how to learn about a test. Let's talk a little bit about this topic. There are many ways that you can experience what it's like to take the Duolingo English test before you begin your certified test. Try the following resources. The first, read this guide and complete the practice questions included at the end. So this guide's book, or this official guide, can be the first resource that can help you so much. One of you have asked about the resources, which kind of resources we are going to share for you. So please pay attention to this part. I'm going to address a lot of resources that can help you so much. So the first resource is this book itself. I'm going to share that for you. And the next one is, take the free Duolingo English practice test as many times as you want by going to englishtest.duolingo.com quick. Keep in mind that the practice version is shorter and is not proctored. Your reported score range on the practice test is an estimated and not as accurate as the real test. So I'm sure most of you have experienced. You have gone to the englishtest.duolingo.com website, and there are a lot of free practices. You can just start a practice, and they say that the practice lasts around 30 minutes. So it lasts around 30 to 45 minutes. And as it is said here also, that the practice test is different from the real test. There are some question types on the real test that they do not exist on the practice test. So that's why when the practice test was done, they will tell you that, for example, you will get around 120 up to 130. Or up to 135. They just give you a range. They just give you an interval that you can, for example, get the score. Your score is going to be about in this interval. So in fact, they want to tell you that this is just an estimated score. So don't be, for example, don't take it so serious. But there are some ways that's to calculate. For example, they say if you get an interval of, for example, which starts from 120 and ends up to 100, for example, 40. So calculate it this way: 120 plus 140 divided by 2. The score that you get, or the result that you get, is your somehow exact estimated score. But particularly, as I answered one of your classmates, that when they say from 120 up to 140, chances are that 90% of the time, chances are that you will get 120. And there is just 10% chance that you will get 140. But 10% chance is a lot of chance. So if you practice, if you, for example, improve your proficiency in English, chances are that you will get even 140 when they give you the range. And the next resource is watch the test walkthrough video to see a test taker complete the entire experience at goduolingo.com walkthrough. Yeah, also in this website you can find that kind of video for a person is, for example, taking all the tests. And also on YouTube you can search for the mock tests or for the practice tests of Duolingo. There are a lot of YouTube channels that they are uploading their practice tests where for example, someone is, for example, taking the test and they share that with you. And so I told you here, it says watch YouTube videos for the Duolingo English test channel and playlists. So that's it, guys. So the next topic is how to practice English. So let's leave that topic for now. Let me just recap all the things that I told you, guys. Here, firstly, we have spoken about the introduction. On the introduction, we told about the test. We told about the test, which is convenient, fast, affordable, and trusted. And also, we said that the test is accessible, accurate, and secure. And also we have spoken about the universities and also the institutions that they accept the Duolingo test. You can go to their website and see how many universities and institutions accept the test. Then we moved on to get ready for the test unit, or this part, and we particularly learned about how about test readiness and how to learn about a test. So particularly we talked about the idea that this test in fact minimizes your stress, and you are supposed to learn English, not particularly preparing for any test. And also we've spoken about the free test readiness resources that you can access, and also we have spoken about their website, and also some YouTube videos or videos from some websites that you can watch that people have gotten the test. And all of these resources and all of these things can help you so much for getting ready for the test. So the next topic is how to practice English. So let's leave this topic for now. We have around some minutes, and we're going to give those minutes for the questions. So that will be the end of the session for tonight from the book. So right now I'm coming to your questions, particularly on the book. You have explored a lot of things, and the thing that I want to focus from the book is that please try to work on your English, in all the skills of your English: reading, listening, writing, speaking. So please concentrate on all these skills and try to develop your English. Try to, for example, level up your English. Leveling up your English is the key factor that can help you have a good score. So in this part of the session, if there is any question, if you have any questions, so please raise your hand. So the second part was also somehow a kind of introduction, a kind of information about the test. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Yeah. Banu Rasuli, please ask your question.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. I have some questions about is the test available anytime? If so, what is the address? I mean, the link for the website, and also what is the full score, and what is the minimum score that you can get to if it's acceptable in university?
Sorry, I couldn't get the last point of your question.
The last point was what is the full score of the Duolingo test, and what is the minimum? I mean the lowest.
I got it. I think on the first part of your question, unfortunately your voice was breaking. I think on the first part of your question you asked about the flexibility on time. Yeah, it's flexible. You can register, and the time and the location, it's up to you. You can choose when to have the test and where to have the test. And the next one, the next question that you particularly asked, about the range of score. You can get from 0 up to 160. From 0 up to 160, even they can give you 5, 10, 20, 50, 90, 80, 100, 120, 130, 140, up to 160. It means the completed score is 160. And most of the universities, for example, in TOEFL, most of the universities accept more than 80 score. Okay, 80 plus is accepted by a lot of universities. But if you get more than 100, that's really nice. In Duolingo, more than 120 is accepted by more universities. Even more than 110 is accepted by them. But if you get more than 130 or more than 135, that's really, really good. And you can, for example, chances are that you will get a good scholarship. So the next one, Banu Fatima, you can ask your question.
Thank you, sir. I just want to ask if it is possible to retake the test if you're not satisfied with the score.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's really something. Yeah, you just pay again. You pay again. You register again. Then you can take the test again.
Yeah, like does it have a minimum of time, like after 2 months or after 3 months for a first try, or is it like flexible?
After getting your score. It means after 2 days. Got it? After 2 days.
Okay, that's very
good. Yeah. For example, it applies to TOEFL also. For example, when you took the test and they announced your score, you can schedule again, no matters. So thank you so much. Yeah. There is someone by the name of Ismail Zada. You can ask your question.
Thank you, sir. In here, in this book, they wrote that learn English, not English for the taste. Now I want you to tell us that how we can improve our English skill, and there is any specific method or any way, specific ways that we can improve our English skill or language, or no?
Thank you so much for the question. Very nice question, which needs a very long answer. You can find the answer of your question in the next sessions that we are going to have. There are a lot of tips, tricks, strategies, and techniques that can help you increase the proficiency of your English. Okay, there are a lot of strategies, and we are going to, in every session, we are going to dig into those strategies, and we are going to learn about them, and I'm going to tell you about the ways how you can improve your English. So don't be worried about it.
Okay, sir, there is not any special or specific...
Yeah, there are a lot of specific methods. For example, in reading, there are a lot of methods. In listening, in other methods. In speaking, in other methods. In writing, in other methods. It means there are a lot of methods. For example, let me give you particularly one example in every skill. For example, in reading. In reading, we always suggest the students that please read English books. Okay, just download English books, read English books, and work on the English books. Okay, and try to increase your, for example, your reading skill, even your reading speed, because that's really important. And we particularly suggest extensive readings for students, because extensive readings they have very scientific essays, and under the essays they have some questions, so that can be a good idea. And for example, for listening, we suggest for students to listen to podcasts, to American podcasts, at least 30 minutes in a day. At least 30 minutes listen. Just put on your earbuds and listen to them. And listen, for example, to TED Talks. There is a YouTube channel by the name of TED. And there are also a lot of other suggestions that we are going to make. Or for example, for speaking, we mostly suggest students to find a peer, to find someone whom you can speak English with. And also, for writing, for example, we suggest the students that please write short essays and long essays every single day, and send those essays for your teachers and for your mentors or for your classmates and peers, and ask them for the comments. So these are the general ways that can help your English generally. Okay, so we will dig on onto every single thing.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Another question. Mr. Abdul Muqit, you can ask your question.
Do you have my voice, sir?
Yeah, I have it.
First of all, thanks a lot from you for dedication of your time to teach us the Duolingo preparation class. In your opinion, which one is better for Afghani students so that they can access to German universities, considering the current conditions in Afghanistan? If anyone really want to study, they have to go abroad. Can Duolingo, like TOEFL, really help students get accepted to American universities? Please answer this question, because it's so critical for us.
Exactly. Let me explore from different aspects. TOEFL is from ETS, an American company. So it's accepted by approximately all American universities. So TOEFL, when they say TOEFL, they mean America, because TOEFL is from America. Duolingo is also the same, but as I told you, TOEFL is accepted by more than 11,000 universities and institutions around the world, and Duolingo is accepted by more than 4,000. Just think about this difference. The next, but particularly, if I answer something particular for you, please go to the website of the particular university you want to apply. Take it, for example, Stanford. For example, you want to apply for Stanford. Check their website. For example, they say they accept TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo, 3 of the tests. They say in TOEFL you should get more than 100, in Duolingo you should get more than 130, in IELTS, for example, more than 8. So when they say they accept Duolingo, so they exactly accept Duolingo. So go for Duolingo and take, for example, more than 130. But for particularly for Afghanistan, right now, If it is possible, if you have the money, if you have, for example, the time, so go for TOEFL. If you don't have that money, around $230 up to $250, if you don't have so much time to prepare for TOEFL, because preparing for TOEFL is difficult in Duolingo. So if you don't have that time and that money, so come for Duolingo. Duolingo can be the best option. Hope you have gotten your answer, Abdul Muqit. If you have any other questions, you can ask. Okay, looks like you don't have the question, so hope you have gotten your answer. Banu Mahdiya, you can ask your question. Please
Yes,
take it
I
shorter.
want to ask about, so I want to tell you about your instructions that you said if you practice your reading, listening, speaking, writing every day, and don't you think it is a kind of pressure on us?
You can schedule it. For example, one day, 2 skills, another day, 2 another skills, so this way. It means, so you have to just do this pressure. Nothing is cheap and nothing, you can't get a good score without any effort. We have had lots of students, I'm in contact with them. Lots of students, even from Afghanistan, that they have gone, for example, to American universities and they got acceptance in Ivy League university even. When I talk to them and I say them, for example, how was your preparation days when you were preparing for TOEFL or IELTS? They were telling me that we were studying approximately 16 hours in a day just for TOEFL or just for Duolingo. They're telling me that they were, for example, taking around 2 mock tests every single day. Can you believe this? So if you want to get accepted in a great university, so these efforts are needed.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Another question I have, can I ask?
Yeah, tell me, please.
So does this exam have age limitation?
No. These tests, they do not have any age limitation. Even kids can have the test. No matters.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, yeah, lots of hands are raised. Banu Nasrin, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Sir, my question is this, that, for example, we know a lot of vocabulary, yeah? But while speaking, so we cannot use them. So do you know any strategies?
Exactly. There are thousands of strategies that can help you with this part. Particularly if you have a lot of vocabulary in your mind and you can't use them, it is the lack of experience. Because you are not, for example, you are not speaking English so much. You are not using your English. Please find someone, a friend or a teacher or someone to speak English with. Try to make your environment fully English. When you watch something, watch it in English. When you listen to something, listen in English. When you read something, read in English. This way, you can, for example, recap all those vocabularies and you can use all those vocabularies. When you use the vocabularies, they will be changed to an experience. And on that time, you can, for example, speak very well. So that's it. There are also a lot of other strategies that we will dig into the class. Okay, so there is a name by the name of, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, Abeda and Afshar. Abida or Obaida, I'm not sure about it. So please unmute yourself and ask your question, and please tell me your name.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good night. This is Abida Afshar.
Okay, Abida Afshar.
Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
My question to you is how many numbers should we get and in order to succeed on, to be accepted on universities? How many numbers shall we get?
Yeah, aside.
Another.
Tell me another question
Okay.
also.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay. As I told you before, it's up to your university. For example, if you apply for Ivy Leagues or for high-ranking universities in America, like MIT, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Duke, Cornell, or University of Pennsylvania, or NYU, or other universities, they will ask you for more than 130. But there are a lot of universities that they accept more than 120, like Gettysburg. There are even a lot of universities that they accept more than 110, like American University of Afghanistan. They accept more than 110. It means more than 110 is considered a good score in Duolingo.
Yeah, thank you so much. But in speaking and doing a test, if you pronounce in British accent, is it a problem for that?
There is a suggestion that says if you want to, for example, be British, so please be British in all the tests. Don't switch between British and American. If you use the American accent, so please be American in all the entire test. Even Indians with their accents, they can get good scores in TOEFL, in Duolingo. So it's completely a different accent than, for example, the British or the American accent. So any accent or any type that you use, please stick to that style up to the end of the test. That will make no problem.
Yeah, but I think it will be better unclear for that because mostly I'm using to pronounce in British accent. So I think it will be a problem for that because when I'm talking
No, there is no problem. If you, for example, there are a lot of speaking questions. In all of them, if you sound British, there is no problem. But if in one of them you sound British, in the next speaking you sound American, in the next one you sound Indian, that will make a lot of problems.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. And would you mind to please tell me some strategies in reading because I think I have some problems with that.
Okay, so thank you for your last question, but it is something that we are going to learn. Don't be worried about it. Okay? Don't be worried. We are going to learn about it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, the next one. There is someone by the name of Salam, and I'm not sure about your real name, so please ask your question. So looks like the one whom I'm calling is not there. So Mr. Ismail Zada, I'm not sure you are Mr. or Miss. So Ismail Zada, anyone who you are, so please ask your question.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
If you get my answer.
Okay, you got your answer, so please lower your hand, okay?
Yeah,
and could you please tell me your name?
Sakina Ismail Zada.
Okay, Sakina Ismail Zada. Please, when you join the session, write your full names, okay? That will be much easier.
Okay.
So, Fatima Sadiqi, if you have any questions, so please tell me. Guys, if your questions are done, so please lower your hand.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, there's a question which is just popping up in my mind, and that is, is there any options available to check and review my answers after taking the test? Like, for example, if I'm not satisfied with my score for the first attempt, are there any options to check my answers? Because I need to know what are my weaknesses. You know, are there any options available for this point?
Okay. Particularly for TOEFL, I understand that they ask you for an amount of money and then they share you, for example, where were your mistakes. But for Duolingo, I'm not sure. In their paper, they just, for example, give you some instructions. For example, this is your score and this is, for example, but they don't tell you about your weaknesses or about your strengths. So I can't say anything particular about Duolingo. You can have an email to themselves. You can have an email to the Duolingo website. And ask this question from them, okay? I'm not sure, but in TOEFL, I'm sure that they ask you for money to share your results, to share your, for example, weak points and your strengths. Okay, your strengths. So hope you have gotten your answer. So, Mr. Yunus Azizi, you can ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I've got two questions. The first question is that after the registration process, how much time does it will take for the date of the examination?
The day of the examination is chosen by you.
It is chosen by me?
Yeah, it is chosen by you.
Registration process?
Yeah, you choose it yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the second question that I had, it is about before somebody else asked as well that you have to find friends so that we should talk with them. Do you provide with that opportunity?
we are going to divide your class into subgroups, and in the subgroups, yeah, it will be possible.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the one whose name is Salam, you have raised your hand. If you have any questions, so please ask your question.
Yes, sir. I have a question from you that can you tell me the reason that why some test takers they face today's problem that get invalid during the test?
Yeah, there are many factors. For example, you should just look to your computer screen. AI is monitoring you. If you turn your head on the left side or right side, or if you look, for example, up and down or anything else, they will block you. There are other factors like even a small point, even if they get a small point that you are cheating, they will block you. Even a small mistake. Okay, a very clear example is just turning around, just looking around. It really blocks your test. And the next one, internet connection. If you, for example, lose your internet connection, so that will be the end of the test, and you have to take the test again. It will be invalid.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're welcome. And so please lower your hand if you don't have any questions. So Ms. Nasreen, if you have any questions, so please tell me.
Sir, could you guys ask in your forward session about how can we purchase our test?
Okay, if it was possible, I'm going to make a video for that, or we will tell you about that at the end of the course, because at the end we will tell you how to, for example, register for the test, how to pay for that, and other factors. So I'm going to share some links for if you want to take the test in these days. So I'm going to share some links for you, and you can get help from there.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So it looks like that was the end of the questions. Thank you so much for your passion, for your motivation, and for tuning into the class. That was really nice to be with you. That's the end of the session for tomorrow. We are also going to have the session from 8:30 up to 9:30. So I'm going to upload this video to YouTube, and you can also watch it later there. And that's it. That's all we have in this part. So, and for all the people who are watching us from YouTube, if you have any question about the Duolingo test or TOEFL or IELTS, any of these international tests, you can you can ask your questions on the comments, and we're going to answer your questions, particularly on the comments. And if you are really interested to join this Duolingo prep, just please show your interest on the comments, and we're going to the team is going to find you, and we're going to add you to the group, and you can also use from this free course of Duolingo. So looks like there is no more question. Thank you so much for tuning into the class. Hope you all have a good night. So goodbye.